Everybody, this is Alan with Daily Armor of God. All doing well. This is reading the Old Testament, 88 days. We're on day 71. Today we'll be reading Isaiah 21 through 31. So let's go. Isaiah 21, verse 1. The burden of the desert of the sea, as whirlwind in the south pass through, so it cometh from the desert, from a terrible land. Grievous vision is declared unto me, the treacherous dealer dealeth treacherously, spoiler spoileth. Go up, O Elam, besiege, O Media, all the sign thereof have I made to cease. Therefore are my loins filled with pain, pangs have taken hold upon me, as the pangs of a woman that travaileth. I was bowed down at the hearing of it, I was dismayed at the scene. My heart panted, fearfulness affrighted me. The night of my pleasure hath he turned into fear unto me. Prepare the table, watch in the watchtower, eat, drink. Arise, ye princes, and anoint the shield. But thus hath the Lord said unto me, Go, set a watchman, let him declare what he seeth. And he saw a chariot with a couple of horsemen, a chariot of asses, and a chariot of camels, and he hearkened diligently with much heed. He cried, A lion, my lord! I stand continually upon the watchtower in the daytime, and I am set in my ward whole night. Well, here cometh a chariot of men with a couple of horsemen, and he answered and said, Babylon is fallen, and all the graven images of her gods hath he broken unto the ground. O my threshing and the corn of my floor, O that which I have heard of Yahweh of hosts, the Elohim of Israel have I declared unto you. The burden of Dunmah calleth to me out of Seir. Watchman, what of the night? Watchman, what of the night? Watchman said, The morning cometh, and also the night. If ye inquire ye, return, come. The burden upon Arabia, in the forest of Arabia shall ye lodge, O ye travelling companies. Inhabitants of the land of Tema brought water that was thirsty, they prevented with their bread him that fled. They fled from swords, from the drawn sword, and from the bent bow, and from the grievousness. For thus hath the Lord said unto me, Within a year, according to the years of a hireling, all the glory of Kedar shall fail, and the residue of the number of archers, the mighty men of the children of Kedar, shall be diminished, for Yahweh Elohim Israel hath spoken it. Isaiah 22. The burden of the valley of vision. What aileth thee now, that thou art wholly gone up to the housetops? Thou art full of stirs, a tumultuous city, a joyous city. Thy slain men are not sword nor dead in battle. All thy rulers are fled together. They are bound by archers. All that are found in thee are bound together, which I have fled from far. Therefore said I, Look away from me, I will weep bitterly, labor not to comfort me of the spoiling of the daughter of my people. For it is a day of trouble, treading down, and of perplexity by the Lord Elohim of hosts in the valley of vision, breaking down the walls, and of crying to the mountains. And Elam bare the quiver with chariots of men and horsemen, and Kir uncovered the shield. It shall come to pass that thy choicest valley shall be full of chariots, and the horsemen shall set themselves in array at the gate. And he discovered the covering of Judah, and thou didst look in that day to the armor of the house of the forest. Ye have seen also the breaches of the city of David, that they are many, and ye gathered together the waters of the lower pool. You have numbered the houses of Jerusalem, and the houses have ye broken down to fortify the wall. Ye made also a ditch between the two walls for the water of the old pool, but ye have not looked unto the maker thereof, neither had respect unto him that fashioned it long ago. And in that day did the Lord Elohim of hosts call to weeping and to mourning, and to baldness, and to girding with sackcloth, and behold joy and gladness, slaying oxen and killing sheep, eating flesh and drinking wine. Let us eat and drink, for tomorrow we shall die. And it was revealed in mine ears by Yahweh of hosts, Surely this iniquity shall not be purged from you till ye die, saith the Lord Elohim of hosts. Thus saith the Lord Elohim of hosts, Go, get thee unto this treasurer, even unto Shebna, which is over the house, and say, What hast thou here? And whom hast thou here, that thou hast hewed thee out a sepulchre here, as he out a sepulchre on high, and that graveth an habitation for himself in a rock. Behold, Yahweh will carry thee away with a mighty captivity, and will surely cover thee. It will surely violently turn and toss thee like a bell into a large country. There shalt thou die, and there the chariots of thy glory shall be shame of thy Lord's house. I will drive thee from thy station, and from thy state shall he pull thee down. And it shall come to pass in that day that I will call my servant Eliakim, the son of Hilkiah. I will clothe him with thy robe, and strengthen him with thy girdle, and I will commit thy government into his. He shall be a father to the inhabitants of Jerusalem and the house of Judah. He of the house of David will lay upon his shoulder, so shall he open it, and none shall shut, and he shall shut, none shall open. I will fasten him as a nail in a sure place, and he shall be for a glorious throne to his father's house. And they shall hang upon him all the glory of his father's house, the offspring and the issue, all vessels of small quantity, from the vessels even to the vessels of flagons. In that day, saith Yahweh of hosts, shall the nail that is fastened in the sure place be removed, be cut down, and fall, and the burden that was upon it shall be cut off, for Yahweh hath spoken it. Isaiah 23. The burden of Tyre, how ye ships of Tarshish, which is laid waste, so that there is no house, no entering in. From the land of Chittim it is revealed to them. Be still, ye inhabitants of the isle, thou whom the merchants of Zidon that pass over the sea have replenished. And by great waters the seed of Sihor, the harvest of the river, is her revenue, and she is a mart of nations. Be thou ashamed, O Zidon, for the sea hath spoken, even the strength of the sea, saying, I travail not, nor bring forth children, neither do I nourish up young men, nor bring up virgins. At the report concerning Egypt, so shall they be surely pained at the report of Tyre. Pass ye over to Tarshish, how, ye inhabitants of the isle. Is this your joyous city, whose iniquity is of ancient days? Her own feet shall carry her afar off to sojourn. Who hath taken this counsel against Tyre, the crowning city, whose merchants are princes, whose traffickers are the honorable of the earth? Yahweh of hosts hath purposed it to stain the pride of all glory, and to bring into contempt all the honorable of the earth. Pass through thy land as a river, O daughter of Tarshish, there is no more strength. He stretched out his hand over the sea, he shook the kingdoms, hath given a commandment against the merchant city, to destroy the strongholds thereof. And he said, Thou shalt no more rejoice, O thou oppressed virgin, daughter of Zion, as Zidon. Arise, pass over to Chittim. There also shalt thou have no rest. Behold, the land of the Chaldeans, this people was not till the Assyrian founded it for them that dwell in the wilderness. They set up the towers thereof, they raised up the palaces thereof, and he brought it to ruin. How, ye ships of Tarshish, for your strength is laid waste, and it shall come to pass in that day that Tyre shall be forgotten 7 years, according to the days of one king. After the end of 7 years shall Tyre sing as an harlot. Take and harp, and go about the city, thou harlot that hast been forgotten. Make sweet melody, sing many songs, that thou mayest be remembered. And it shall come to pass after the end of 70 years that Yahweh will visit Tyre, and she shall turn to her hire, and shall commit fornication with all the kingdoms upon the face of the earth, and her merchandise and her hire shall be holiness to Yahweh. Shall not be treasured nor laid up, for her merchandise shall be for them that dwell before Yahweh, to eat sufficiently and for. Isaiah 24. Behold, Yahweh maketh the earth empty, and maketh it waste, and turneth it up down, and scattereth abroad the inhabitants thereof. And it shall be as with the people, so with the priest, and as with the servant, so with his master, as with the maid, so with her mistress, as with the buyer, so with the seller, as with the leader, so with the borrower, as with the taker of usury, so with the giver of usury to him. The land shall be utterly emptied and utterly spoiled. Yahweh hath spoken this word. Earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth do languish. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, as they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore hath the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. The new wine mourneth, the vine languisheth, all the merry-hearted do sigh. The mirth of tabrets ceaseth, the noise of rejoiceth endeth, of the harp ceaseth. They shall not drink wine with a song, strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it. The city of confusion is broken down, every house is shut up that no man. There is a crying for wine in the streets, all joy is darkened, the mirth of the land is gone. The city is left desolation, and the gate is smitten with destruction. When thus it shall be in the midst of the land among the people. There shall be as the shaking of an olive tree, as the gleaning grapes when the vintage is done. They shall lift up their voice, they shall sing for the majesty of Yahweh. They shall cry aloud from the sea. Wherefore glorify ye Yahweh in the fires, even the name of Yahweh Elohim of Israel in the isles of the sea. From the uttermost part of the earth have we heard songs, even glory to the righteous. But I said, my leanness, woe unto me! The treacherous dealers have dealt treacherously, yea, the treacherous dealers have dealt very treacherously. Fear and the pit and the snare are upon the inhabitant of. It shall come to pass that he who fleeth from the noise of the fear shall fall into the pit, and he that cometh up out of the midst of the pit shall be taken in the snare. For the windows from on high are open, and the foundations of the earth do shake. The earth is utterly broken down, the earth is clean dissolved, the earth is moved exceedingly. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage, and the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. And it shall come to pass in that day that Yahweh shall punish the host of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth. Shall be gathered together as prisoners are gathered in the pit, and shall be shut up in the prison. After many days shall they be visited. Then the moon shall be confounded, and the sun ashamed, when Yahweh of hosts shall reign in Mount Zion, and Jerusalem, and before his ancients. 25. O Yahweh, thou art my Elohim. I will exalt thee, I will praise thy name, for thou hast done wonderful things. Thy counsels of old are faithfulness and truth. For thou hast made of a city an heap, of a defended city a ruin, a palace of strangers to be no city. It shall never be built. Therefore shall the strong people glorify thee, the city of the terrible nations shall fear thee. For thou hast been a strength to the poor, a strength to the needy in distress, a refuge from the storm, a shadow from heat. And the blast of the terrible ones is as a storm against the wall. Thou shalt bring down the noise of strangers, as the heat in a dry place, even the heat with the shadow of a cloud. The branch of the terrible ones shall be brought low. And in this mountain shall Yahweh of hosts make unto all people a feast of fat things, a feast of wines on the lees, a feast full of marrow, of wines on the lees well refined. And he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations. He will swallow up death in victory, and the Lord Elohim will wipe away tears from all the faces. And in rebuke of his people shall he take away off all the earth, for Yahweh hath spoken it. It shall be said in that day, Lo, this is our Elohim, we have waited for him, and he will save us. This is Yahweh, we have waited for him. We will be glad and rejoice in his salvation. For in this mountain shall the hand of Yahweh rest, and Moab shall be trodden down under him, even as straw is trodden down for the dunghill. He shall spread forth his hands in the midst of them, and as he that swimmeth spreadeth forth his hands to swim. And he shall bring down their pride together with the spoils of their hands. The fortress of the high fort of thy walls shall he bring down, lay low and bring to the ground, even to the dust. Isaiah 26. In that day this song be sung in the land of Judah. We have a strong city, salvation will God appoint for walls and bulwarks. Open ye the gates, that the righteous nation which keepeth the truth may enter in. Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusteth in thee. Trust ye in Yahweh forever, for in Yahweh Jehovah is everlasting strength. That's a good word. Amen to that. In Yahweh is strength. Everlasting strength, to be exact. For he bringeth down them that dwell on high, the lofty city, he layeth it low even to the ground, he bringeth it even to the dust. foot shall tread it down, even the feet of the poor and the steps of the needy. The way of the just is uprightness. Thou, most upright, dost weigh the path of the just. Yea, in the way of thy judgments, O Yahweh, have we waited for thee. The desire of our soul is to thy name, and to the remembrance of thee. With my soul have I desired thee in the night, yea, with my spirit within me will I seek thee early. For when thy judgments are in the earth, the inhabitants of the world will learn righteousness. Let favor be showed to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. The land of the uprightness will he yield unjustly, and will not behold the majesty of Yahweh. Yahweh, when thy hand is lifted up, they will not see, but they shall see and be ashamed for their envy at the people. Yea, the fire of thine enemies shall devour them. Yahweh, thou wilt ordain peace for us, for thou also hast wrought all our works in us. O Yahweh, our Elohim, other lords beside thee have had dominion over us, but by thee only of thy name. They are dead, they shall not live. They are deceased, they shall not rise. Therefore hast thou visited and destroyed them, and made all their memory to perish. Thou hast increased the nation, O Yahweh. Thou hast increased the nation, thou art glorified. Thou hast removed it far unto all the ends of the earth. Yahweh, in trouble have they visited thee. They poured out a prayer when thy chastening was upon them, like as a woman with child that draweth near to the time of her delivery, is in pain, and crieth out in her pangs. So have we been in thy sight, O Yahweh. We have been with child, we have been in pain. We have as it were brought forth wind, we have not wrought any deliverance in the earth, neither have the inhabitants of the world fallen. My dead men shall live, together with my dead body shall they arise. Awake and sing, ye that dwell in dust, for thy dew is as the dew of herbs, and the earth shall cast out the dead. Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers, and shut thy doors about thee. Hide thyself as it were for a little moment, until the indignation be overpast. For, behold, Yahweh cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. The earth also shall disclose her blood, and shall no more cover her slain. Isaiah 27. In that day Yahweh with his sword and great and strong sword shall punish Leviathan, and piercing the serpent, even Leviathan, that crooked serpent, and he shall slay the dragon that is in the sea. In that day sing ye unto her a vineyard of red wine. I, Yahweh, do keep it. I will water it every moment, lest any hurt it. I will keep it night and day. Fury is not in me. Who would set the briars and thorns against me in battle? I would go through them, I would burn them together, or let him take hold of my strength, that he may make peace with me. He shall cause them that come of Jacob to take root. Israel shall blossom and bud, and fill the face of the world with fruit. Hath he smitten him, as he smote those that smote him? Or is he slain according to the daughter of them that are slain by him? In measure when it shooteth forth, thou wilt debate with it. He stayeth his rough wind in the day of the east wind. By this therefore shall the iniquity of Jacob be purged, and this is all the fruit to take away his sin, when he maketh all the stones of the altar as chalk stones that are beaten in sunder. The groves and images shall not stand up. Yet the defenced city shall be desolate, and the habitation forsaken, and left like a wilderness. There shall the calf feed, and there shall he lie down, and consume the branches thereof. When the boughs thereof are withered, they shall be broken off. The women come and set them on fire, for it is a people of no understanding. Therefore he that made them will not have mercy on them. He that formed them will show them no favor. And it shall come to pass in that day that Yahweh shall beat off from the channel of the river unto the stream of Egypt. Ye shall be gathered one by one, children of Israel. And it shall come to pass in that day that the great trumpet shall be blown, and they shall come which were ready to perish in the land of Assyria, and the outcasts in the land of Egypt, and shall worship Yahweh in the holy mount at Jerusalem. Isaiah 28. Woe to the crown of our pride, to the drunkards of Ephraim, whose glorious beauty is a fading flower, which are on the head of the fat valleys of them that are over wine. Behold, the Lord hath a mighty and strong one, which, as a tempest of hail and a destroying storm, as a flood of mighty waters overflowing, shall cast down to the earth with the hand. The crown of pride, the drunkards of Ephraim, shall be trodden under feet. glorious beauty which is on the head of a fat valley shall be a fading flower, and as a hasty fruit before the summer, which when he that looketh upon it seeth, while it is yet up. That day shall Yahweh of hosts be for a crown of glory, and for a diadem of beauty unto the residue of his people, for a spirit of judgment to him that sitteth in judgment, and for strength to them that turn the battle to the gate. But they also have erred through wine, and through strong drink are out of the way. The priest and the prophet have erred through strong drink. They are swallowed up of wine. They are out of the way through strong drink. They err in vision. They stumble in judgment. For all tables are full of vomit and filthiness, so that there is no place clean. Whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breasts? For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little. For with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to this people, to whom he said, This is the rest wherewith ye may cause the weary to rest, and this is the refreshing, yet they would not. The word of Yahweh was unto them precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little, that they might go and fall backward and be broken and snared and taken. Wherefore hear the word of Yahweh, ye scornful men that rule this people which is in Jerusalem, because ye have said, We have made a covenant with death, and with hell are we at agreement. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, it shall not come unto us, for we have made lies our refuge, and under falsehood have we hid ourselves. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Elohim, Behold, I lay in Zion for a foundation, a stone, a tried stone, a precious cornerstone, a sure foundation. He that believeth shall not make haste. Judgment also will I lay to the line, and righteousness to the plummet, and the hail shall sweep away the refuge of lies, and the water shall overflow the hiding place. And your covenant with death shall be disannulled, and your agreement with hell shall not stand. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, then ye shall be trodden down by it. From the time that it goeth forth, it shall take you. For morning by morning shall it pass over. By day and by night it shall be a vexation only to understand the report. The bed is shorter than that a man can stretch himself on it, the covering narrower than he can wrap himself in it. For Yahweh shall rise up as in Mount Perazim. He shall be wroth as in the valley of Gibeon, that he may do his work, his strange work, and bring to pass his act, his strange act. Now therefore be ye not mockers, lest your bands be made strong. For I have heard from the Lord Elohim of hosts a consumption, even determined upon the whole earth. Give ye ear and hear my voice, hearken and hear my speech. Doth the plowman plow all the day to sow? Doth he open and break the clods of his ground, when he hath made the plain the face thereof? Doth he not cast abroad the fitches, and scatter the cumin, and cast in the principal wheat, and the appointed barley, and the rye in their place? For his Elohim doth instruct him to discretion, and doth teach him. For the fitches are not a threshold with a threshing instrument, neither is a cartwheel turned about upon the cumin, but the fitches are beaten out with a staff, and the cumin with a rod. Red corn is bruised, because he will not ever be threshing it, nor break it with the wheel of his cart, nor bruise it with his horsemen. This also cometh forth from Yahweh of hosts, which is wonderful in counsel, and excellent in working. Isaiah 29. Woe to Ariel, the city where David dwelt. Add ye year to year, let them kill sacrifices. Yet will I distress Ariel, and there shall be heaviness and sorrow, and it shall be unto me as Ariel. And I will camp against thee round about, and will lay siege against thee with a mount, and I will raise forts against thee. Thou shalt be brought down, and shalt speak out of the ground, and thy speech shall be low out of the dust, and thy voice shall be as one hath a familiar spirit out of the ground, and thy speech shall whisper out of the dust. Moreover, the multitude of thy strangers shall be like small dust, and the multitude of terrible ones shall be as chaff that passeth away. Yea, it shall be as an instrument, instant, suddenly. Thou shalt be visited of Yahweh of hosts with thunder, and with earthquake, and with great noise, with storm and tempest, and the flame of devouring fire. The multitude of all the nations that fight against Ariel, even all that fight against her in her munition, and that distress her, shall be as a dream of the night vision. It shall even be as when an hungry man dreameth, and behold, he eateth, but he awaketh, and his soul is empty. Or as when a thirsty man dreameth, and behold, he drinketh, but he awaketh, and behold, he is faint, and his soul hath appetite. So shall the multitude of all the nations be that fight against Mount Zion. Stay yourselves and wonder, cry ye out and cry. They are drunken, but not with wine, they stagger, but not with strong drink. For Yahweh hath poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep, and hath closed your eyes. The prophets and your rulers, the seers, hath he covered. And the visions of all that is become unto you as the words of a book that is sealed, which men deliver to one that is learned, saying, Read this, I pray thee. And he saith, I cannot, for it is sealed. And the book is delivered to him that is not learned, saying, Read this, I pray thee. He saith, I am not learned. Wherefore the Lord said, For as much as this people draw near to me with their mouth and with their lips, do honor me, but have removed their heart far from me, and their fear toward me is taught by the precept of men. Therefore, behold, I will proceed to do a marvelous work among this people, even a marvelous work, and a wonder, for the wisdom of their wise men shall perish, and the understanding of their prudent men shall be hid. Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from Yahweh, and their works are in the dark, and they say, Who seeth us, and who knoweth us? Verily your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say of him that made it, He made me not? Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, He hath no understanding? It is not yet a very little while, and Lebanon shall be turned into a fruitful field, and the fruitful field shall be esteemed as a forest. And in that day shall the deaf hear the words of the book, and the eyes of the blind shall see out of obscurity and out of darkness. The meek also shall increase their joy in Yahweh, and the poor among men shall rejoice in the Holy One of Israel. For the terrible one is brought to naught, and the scorner is consumed, and all that watch for iniquity are cut off, that make a man an offender for a word, and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate, and turn aside the just for a thing of naught. Wherefore thus saith Yahweh, who redeemed Abraham concerning the house of Jacob, Jacob shall not now be ashamed, neither shall his face now wax pale. But when he seeth his children the work of mine hands in the midst of him, they shall sanctify my name, and sanctify the Holy One of Jacob, and shall fear the Elohim of Israel. They also that erred in spirit shall come to understand, and they that murmured shall learn doctrine. Isaiah 30. Woe to the rebellious children, saith Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. That walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. For his princes were at Zoan, and his ambassadors came to Hanz. They were all ashamed of a people that could not profit them, nor be in help nor profit, but a shame, and also a reproach, the burden of the beasts of the south, into the land of trouble and anguish. From whence come the young and old lion, the viper and fiery flying serpent? They will carry their riches upon the shoulders of young asses, and their treasures upon bunches of camels, to a people that shall not profit them. For the Egyptians shall help in vain, and to no purpose. Therefore have I Christ concerning this, their strength is to sit still. Now go, write it before them in a table, and note in a book, that it may be for the time come forever and ever. That this is a rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the law of Yahweh, which say to the seers, See not, and to the prophets, Prophesy not unto us right things. Speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits. Get you out of the way, turn aside to the path, cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. Wherefore thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because ye despise this word, and trust in oppression and perverseness, and stay thereon. Therefore this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly at an instant, and ye shall break as the breaking of the potter's vessel that is broken in pieces, he shall not spare. So there shall not be found in the bursting of it a sherd to take fire from the hearth, or to take water withal out of the pit. For thus saith the Lord Elohim, the Holy One of Israel, In returning and rest shall ye be saved, in quietness and confidence shall be your strength, and ye would not. But ye said, No, for we will flee upon horses, therefore shall ye flee, and we will ride upon the swift. Therefore shall they that pursue you be swift. 1,000 shall flee at the rebuke of one, at the rebuke of 5 shall you flee, till ye be left as a beacon upon the top of a mountain, and as an ensign on a hill. And therefore will Yahweh wait, that he may be gracious unto you, and therefore will he be exalted, that he may have mercy upon you. For Yahweh is an Elohim of judgment. Blessed are all they that wait for him. I like this last part of this verse. Our God, our Lord, is a God of judgment. Blessed are all they that wait for him. Like I say every day, we should wait on the Lord. Keep waiting on the Lord. Surely good things will come. For the people shall dwell in Zion at Jerusalem. Thou shalt weep no more. He will be very gracious unto thee at the voice of thy cry, when he shall hear it. He will answer thee. And though the Lord give you at the bread of adversity, and the water of affliction, yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner any more, but thine eyes shall see thy teachers. And thine ears shall hear a word behind thee, saying, This is the way, walk ye in it, when ye turn to the right hand, and when ye turn to the left. Shall defile also the covering of thy garden, images of silver, ornament of thy molten images of gold. Thou shalt cast them away as a menstruous cloth. Thou shalt say unto it, Get thee hence. Then shall he give the rain of thy seed, that thou shalt sow the ground withal, and bread of the increase of the earth, and it shall be fat and plenteous. In that day shall thy cattle feed in large pastures. The oxen likewise, and the young asses that ear the ground shall eat clean provender, which hath been winnowed with the shovel and with the fan. And there shall be upon every high mountain, upon every high hill, rivers and streams of waters in the day of great slaughter, when the towers fall. Moreover, the light of the moon shall be as the light of the sun, and the light of the sun shall be sevenfold, as the light of 7 days, in the day that Yahweh bindeth up the breach of this people, and healeth the stroke of their wound. Behold, the name of Yahweh cometh from far, burning with his anger, and burden thereof is heavy. His lips are full of indignation, and his tongue as a devouring fire. And his breath as an overflowing stream shall reach the midst of the neck, and sift the nations with a sieve of vanity, and there shall be a bridle in the jaws of the people, causing them to err. Shall have a song, as in the night when a holy solemnity is kept, and gladness of heart, as when one goeth with a pipe to come into the mountain of Yahweh, to the mighty one of Israel. And Yahweh shall cause his glorious voice to be heard, and shall shew the lightning down of his arm, with the indignation of his anger, and with the flame of a devouring fire, with scattering, and tempest, and hailstones. For though the voice of Yahweh shall the Assyrian be beaten down, which smote with a rod, and in every place where the grounded staff shall pass, which Yahweh shall lay upon him, it shall be with tabrets and harps, and in battles of shaking will he fight with it. For Tophet is ordained of old, yea, for the king it is prepared. He hath made it deep and large, the pile thereof is fire and much wood, the breath of Yahweh, like a stream of brimstone, doth kindle it. 31. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help, and stay in horses, and trust in chariots, because they are many, and in horsemen, because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek Yahweh. Yet he also is wise, and will bring evil, and will not call back his words, but will arise against the house of the evildoers, against the help of them that work iniquity. Now the Egyptians are men, and not Elohim, and their horses flesh, and not spirit. When Yahweh shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is holpen shall fall down, and they and all shall fail together. For thus hath Yahweh spoken unto me, like as a lion and the young lion roaring on his prey, when a multitude of shepherds is called forth against him. He will not be afraid to their voice, nor abase himself for the noise of them. So shall Yahweh of hosts come down to fight for Mount Zion, and for the hill thereof. As birds flying, so will Yahweh of hosts defend Jerusalem. Defending also he will deliver it, and passing over he will preserve it. Turn ye unto him, for whom the children of Israel have deeply revolted. For on that day every man shall cast away his idols of silver, and his idols of gold, which your own hands have made unto you sin. Then shall the Assyrian fall with the sword, not of a mighty man, or not of a mean man, devour him, but he shall flee from the sword, and his young men shall be discomfited. but pass over to his stronghold for fear, and his princes shall be afraid of the ensign, saith Yahweh, whose fire is in Zion, and his furnace in Jerusalem. Okay, that's going to be it for today, guys. We have a lot more of Isaiah to get through, but we're going to stop here. So thank you for joining me. Hope you guys have a great evening, morning, noon, wherever you're at. And as always, TTFN, ta-ta for now. Take care, God bless, and remember to have faith in him, trust in him, and waiting upon him, and you'll never be sorry. We shall see you tomorrow, God willingly, with more Isaiah. So, thanks again. We'll see you later.